Hey everyone, it's Book Shambi. Welcome to the show.
Wow.
Previously on Storylines, the Negro Leagues. When I met Buck in 1993, one of the first questions that I posed to him was, what motivated you to want to build a Negro Leagues baseball museum? And his answer was succinct, but very poignant, so that baseball's unsung heroes will never be forgotten. Without question, Satchel Paige was the Negro League's biggest and brightest star. A lot of people don't know that Jackie Robinson's illustrious professional baseball career began in Kansas City in 1945 with the Kansas City Monarchs. The beauty of the Negro Leagues is that they didn't care what color you were, and they didn't care what gender you were. The legendary Josh Gibson would have hit home runs in any league, in any era, had he been given the opportunity to do so. What we are doing is fueling dreams. We're fueling the possibilities that come from this incredible story of amazing athletes who overcame the obstacles that were in front of them to go after their dreams. And the Negro Leagues gave them a platform to do just that. They say every star tells a story. And isn't it fitting that one story of triumph over adversity was founded in the winter and celebrated in the summer, under bright lights with stars in the sky? A story of monarchs and grays, clowns and Crawfords, eagles and giants, and of course, stars, who defined what for the love of the game really meant. And on those fields, under those lights, legends came to play, where their passion never died, where their stars would always shine. These are the legends. These are their stories. This is the Negro Leagues.
Tell me I was born to lose, but I made a good thing out of bad.
Que reflejan tu mirada, la noche tú y yo.
I got this fire burning in me from within. Concentrated thoughts on who I used to be. I'm shedding skin. Every day a new version of me, a third of me demented, cemented in pain, juggling the pros and cons of fame. I don't know how to make friends, I'm a lonely soul. I recollect this isolation, I was 4 years old. Truth be told, I've been battling myself, trying to navigate the real and fake, cynical.
When I say the name James Thomas Bell, most people have no idea who you're talking about. But when you say Cool Papa, everybody knows.
I'm taking care of business. I got so many things to do. Whoa.
I believe that it is the greatest nickname in baseball history. He is still believed to be the fastest man to ever play this game. How fast was Cool Papa Bell? I guess you could say faster than a light switch. The legendary Satchel Paige would say of his friend that he was so fast that he could walk in a room, turn off the lights, get in bed, pull up the covers before the room went dark. They clocked him circling the bases in an amazing 12 seconds. He twice, honest to God's truth, twice scored from first base on a bunt in exhibition games against Major League All-Stars. He once stole 175 bases in a less than 200-game season. The legendary Jesse Owens, who at that time was the fastest man in the world, would never race Cool Papa Bell. He would have made Jesse Owens look like he was standing still.
Did you ever race him, like, before a game in front of crowds and stuff?
We had a doubleheader in Cleveland, Ohio, and he was in the stand. He seen me running the bases around, and they say, I left my track shoes home, so I didn't have any track shoes. I got work. I got work.
And the batter now, Cool Papa Bell. Swing and a miss. And it's 0-1.
Your ball, good strike. Ball out.
It's crazy, Boog, but the story about Cool Papa Bell being faster than the light switch is actually true. There was a delay on the switch in a hotel room Bell and Satchel Paige were staying in, and Bell figured it out before Satchel got there. So he bet Satchel he could get under the covers before the light went out, and he won.
Bell in the box with 2 gone, and takes a look at a called strike. Swings and hits one in the air out towards right field, and that is that. And we're back. Cool Papa Bell digging in now. Bunts it towards the mound. Gets it to first, and they get Bell for the out. One footnote to that story about the light switch singing, Bell said it was the only time he ever saw Satchel speechless.
Yeah, and after all the pranks Satchel played on his teammates, Cool Papa finally turned the tables on him.
On the ground right side. He takes it himself to the bag, and that'll do it.
City going up, so you better buzz. Finna see what really wanted us, really spilling blood.
I remember when the great Willie Mays makes his first visit to the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum. And he walks in and he's peering through the chicken wire, looking out onto the field of legends. And as any good center fielder would do, the first thing that he asked Buck O'Neil was, Buck, who is that in center field? And Buck looks at him and says, Willie, that was you before there ever was a you. From Indianapolis, Indiana, it is the legendary Oscar Charleston, whom Buck O'Neil would say without hesitation, the greatest baseball player he ever saw. Oscar Charleston joined the Indianapolis ABCs in 1920 when the Negro Leagues were established. The consummate 5-tool player. You remember the great over-the-shoulder basket catch that Willie Mays makes in the World Series there in the Polo Grounds? Well, all the old-timers in the Negro League say, had that been Oscar Charleston, he'd have been waiting for that ball to come down. That's the kind of instinctive center fielder that he was. He had the defensive abilities of Tris Speaker, the tenacity of Ty Cobb, and the bat of Babe Ruth rolled into one dynamic package. That was the great Oscar Charleston.
Justified when it's the fly sinister, Philly certified finisher, the prime minister, in God's image, the monument, the homages to the problems, acknowledging how to apply penance for the transgression.
Oscar Charleston stepping in now for the Crawfords with one gone and a runner in scoring position. Up and in, and it's 1-0.
There are a lot of stories of how good Oscar Charleston was, Boog, but here's one stat that sums it up pretty well. He's the only player in MLB history to win the Triple Crown 3 times. The only other players to even do it twice are Rogers Hornsby and Ted Williams.
Swung on, belted. That's back there. And it is gone. Oscar digs in for the second time here, already 1 for 1. The last 2 of those Charleston Triple Crown years you mentioned, Singy, 1924 and 25, he was playing for the Harrisburg Giants, 2 hours east of the Philadelphia Phillies, who were finishing second to last both years, when they could have had an all-time talent leading them if not for segregation.
Dick C. was part of the $1 million infield for the Newark Eagles with Ray Dandridge, Willie Wells, and Mule Suttles. Someone once asked Dick if Oscar was as great as everyone claimed, and he said he was greater.
Oscar Charleston stepping in now. Swing and a ball popped in the air, and a foul ball. Two outs. Swing and a miss, and that's strike 2.
0-2.
Swings and misses. He's not
just can't lay off that fucking fastball up top, man. I just can't stop swinging at that bullshit. Fuck. That's the shit I'm talking about. Fuck. This shit hard, dog.
What I really love about this phenom by the name of Shohei Ohtani is he's now led folks to come to the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum wanting to learn about the great two-way stars of the Negro Leagues.
Look, it's 6 o'clock, I'm hopping out of the bed. Rain falling, calling X, but my phone line's there.
Perhaps the greatest two-way player of them all was the legendary Wilbur Bullet Rogan.
Don't nobody want to dance slow when the rain.
Who was a star for the great Kansas City Monarchs in the Negro Leagues. Now, Bullet Rogan, at first glance, didn't look like a great athlete. Shohei Ohtani is an imposing figure. He is a big young man. But Bullet Rogan was on the opposite end of the spectrum. Stood about 5'7", weighed about 180 pounds. Satchel Paige would call him chunky. But Bullet Rogan was a tremendous athlete. When Bullet Rogan wasn't pitching, he played the outfield and hit cleanup for the Kansas City Monarchs. Bullet Rogan could rake. Leroy Satchel Paige, who said that Bullet Rogan was the onlyest baseball player that he ever saw, that he ever heard of, that pitched and hit cleanup in the batting order. That was Bullet Rogan.
city going up, so you better buzz. Tennessee really wanted us, you really spilling blood. Everybody tough, so they gotta go and see the judge. Better hush. Remember growing up, all I wanted was to be wanted me to get a little bread.
Now it's the second baseman, number 46. And that is downstairs. And we're underway. Swings through that one.
The term two-way player really doesn't capture how spectacular Bullet Rogan was. Bob Feller said he could do anything. He was one of the best black ball players I ever saw. And Feller barnstormed with just about every Negro League star.
Swings and misses at the breaking ball in the dirt. Got him. One away on the strikeout. And now the switch hitting catcher. That one finds the zone. 0-1. Just about the only thing Bullet wasn't the best at was managing. Chet Brewer once said he wasn't a good manager because he was such a great player himself. He thought it should be easy for you. He didn't know how great he was. One out, bases empty.
First team Bullet played on was the 25th Infantry Wreckers in the U.S. Army, and there are actually box scores for a lot of his games for that team. Over 4 years, he went 36-3 on the mound while batting over .350.
Here's the left fielder.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. What the fuck numbers were that? Did you hear that shit? Oh, whoa. 350, my nigga? What?
0-1. Two down, nobody on. Swing and a miss as he was out front that time. And that's way high. And that's ball one. Fans another, and that's 3 straight strikeouts. Welcome back to Mulebach Field. And the batter will be the shortstop, number 0. Rogan back to work.
This soundtrack cold as hell, ain't it? Oh my God, this soundtrack is amazing.
Rogan winds and deals. And that one is lifted in the air under.
That's free food. That's free food. Give me that. Yes, sir.
And there's
free food.
And here's the first baseman. Right through there for a strike. In there for a strike at the top of the zone. Just misses. Going to count 1-2.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Swing at a high fly ball right field. And Donaldson.
Free food. Free food. Let's go.
Now base is empty. And now the right fielder. That one finds the zone. 0-1. Swing and a miss as he was out front.
No balls, 2 strikes.
Good eye right there. Cut on and miss. Struck him out. And good work there as he gets a 1-2-3. Here's Bullet Rogan for the first time in this one and a chance to do some damage.
What a talent Bullet Rogan was. Not only was he an ace on the mound, but in 17 years of Negro League play, he batted .335 and slugged over .500. And unlike Babe Ruth,
Nigga, the bat broke. Fuck. Damn.
Of just 2.68.
One down. Now it's the right fielder, Bullet Rogan. If you're going to bring up Bullet Rogan's career stats, Singy, we've got to highlight what he did against white major leaguers. Only 3 recorded games, but he went 4 for 11 at the plate, and he gave up just 4 runs in 2 complete games on the mound. Base hit, so they get a man aboard with a 1-out single. Bullet Rogan digging in now. And that's fouled off. Swing and a foul out of play.
One and two.
Runners at first and second with 1 gone, and we're in the top of the 5th. Fouls it off, still 1 and 2. Two on, 1 out. Foul ball, still a 1 and 2 count. That one is absolutely belted. Hits the fence. Heading for the plate. He'll score easily. And the stop sign goes up at